What's up guys, it's Wasabi and I'm back with another review. This video is not sponsored, these are my thoughts, personal opinions and experiences with the product. And today we have the PULSAR X2A Mini. Now before we go any further, let's take a quick look at the packaging because that's what you pay for too. The first thing you're gonna see is the mouse itself, and what can I say? This is iconic mouse design from PULSAR and I think it looks really good. You get the USB wireless receiver and PULSAR dongle adapter, braided cable, very nice and bendy, a set of side button covers, an instruction manual. I love how they put in the effort to do this up really nicely. And with PULSAR packaging, everything's always very well presented and fun. Collector's card with the specs of the mouse, PULSAR sticker, and that's pretty much all that's included inside the box. And before we begin, let's manage some expectations here real quick. PULSAR is a Korean brand that specializes in PC peripherals, mainly gaming mice and accessories, and you can tell they are doing pretty well with their new product launches and recent official partnership with VCT Pacific, as well as partnerships with esports teams such as PaperX, Team Secret, and T1. Congrats PULSAR, this is a huge win for you guys. So the X2 line is the icon of PULSAR, and the X2A is pretty much the same as the X2 V2, just with minor differences in the weight due to its ambidextrous features. And both the X2A Mini Size 1 and Original Size 2 are going for $99.95. And if you're interested in getting this mouse, lucky for you, PULSAR will be having a special 30% off promo event, and you can get the X2A Size 1 or Size 2 from the 22nd to the 30th of April at a special discounted price. Of all the white mice from PULSAR, I feel that this is the best looking one yet. While it does retain the exact same design of the X2 and the X2 V2, the cutouts on the bottom is my favorite part of the mouse. I think it looks so cool, and this X2A in particular looks great with contrasting black details of the scroll wheel, side buttons, and base of the mouse. This is what I like to call a Stormtrooper colorway, and I think it looks so good in person. What's unique about the X2A is that it's an ambidextrous symmetrical mouse designed to work for both left-handed and right-handed users. What's really cool is that the side buttons on both the left and right sides are completely removable, and because they are magnetic, you just have to use your fingernail to pull out each button. And the mouse comes with flat buttons, so you can seal up the sides that you do not use. If you feel like having one button on the left and one button on the right, it's possible. Or if you feel like having no buttons on either side, that's possible as well. The build quality of this mouse is great. The mouse buttons, scroll wheel, and even the magnetic side buttons are very well put together. You see, what I like about PULSAR mice is that every part feels like it's well attached to the main body. Now before I get into more detail with the shape and how it feels from my experience, to put things into perspective, my hand size is 17.5 by 9. This shape is pretty much identical to the X2 V1 and the X2 V2. You get the same flat sides, which makes a fingertip grip on this mouse feel good, and there's a lot of space to position your fingers. The low front end is great for claw grip, and the rounded off back hump is decent enough support for your palm. And this is a combination that gives me an excellent experience using this mouse, but more so for a fingertip grip. What I noticed the most when using this mouse was how nice it feels for your index and middle fingers to rest on the left and right mouse clicks. The shape of the mouse buttons curves just enough for your fingers to feel secure. Now this part is to help people visualize the different grip styles on the X2A Mini with reference to my hand size. The relaxed claw grip would be doable for small hand sizes, but with the shape and size of this mouse, I enjoy using a regular claw grip much more. An aggressive claw grip works too, but that's a grip style that I don't use very often. Palm grip is a little awkward for a mouse of this size, not something that I enjoy using here. The fingertip grip style on this is great. It feels comfortable with its flat sides, and its rear doesn't extend too far and come in contact with my palm. This is a mouse I find myself swapping between a regular claw grip and a fingertip grip in game. Stated weight on the website is 55 grams plus minus 1, and here we have 54.7, which is not bad. If you're thinking that the regular version of the X2 V2 is a better option because of the weight, well, you have a point, but it's not too big of a difference. On paper, the X2 V2 Mini weighs in at 51 grams, and this one weighs in at 55 grams. And for most people, the weight difference should not be too noticeable, so if you're a lefty, don't worry, you're not losing out here. I personally find this one to be a nice weight to use. The coating on this mouse is great. It feels smooth if you have dry hands, but it does get grippier when you sweat a little. Quality of the coating is good and they are pretty generous with it. I mean, some mice you can see faint patches in the coating, but this one is very well done. With PULSAR mice, they do not include grip tapes. If you have very dry hands, I would recommend to get some of their super grip tape, and they cost about 10 bucks. A lot of people recommend their super grip tapes for the quality and grippiness. They are some of the best in the market and they're made in Japan. There are a total of 7 programmable buttons on this mouse: the left and right mouse click, scroll click, 2 side buttons on the left, and 2 side buttons on the right. The X2A Mini uses the same optical switches you find in the X2V2. These clicks do not feel light. I would say they are a little stiff when you first get them, and they are on the crispier side for an optical switch. Now, there have been several cases where people experience issues with the clicks. On my unit, there's a bit of an anomaly when it feels like there was a pre-step, like a little thud before clicking the switch. It's a little strange, but it's not something I noticed when I game. And on the crispy meter, with the way they sound and feel, I would put them right about here. The side buttons feel tactile with a little pre and post travel in the front and back. Overall, they sound and feel pretty decent. My only complaint here is that the side buttons are a little on the slim side and do not feel quite as comfortable as other mice if you use the side buttons a lot. But I understand that they wanted to retain the design of the original X2, so maybe perhaps in future the X3 will have redesigned side buttons. The scroll wheel is pretty good. You get a good amount of tension between each step. The scroll clicks are on the stiffer side, and this has the new and improved scroll wheel internal structure, and it feels very solid on this mouse. The X2A Mini has the POR3395 sensor, which is the same with all their new mice. It has motion sync, which you can toggle on or off on the software, and with this sensor, you can go all the way up to 26,000 dpi. On PULSAR's Fusion software is where you can configure all the settings of your mouse. Here, you can remap the programmable buttons, toggle motion sync on or off, adjust the bounce time, set up your different profiles, adjust the DPI up to 26,000. The max pulling rate you can go up to is capped at 1000 Hz if you do not have the dongle, and you can adjust the lift-off distance and a few other settings. It's straightforward, easy to use, nothing special, but it covers the basics. Highest pulling rate with the included USB dongle goes up to 1000 Hz. If you want to go up to 4000 Hz, you gotta get their 4K dongle separately. That is something I would only recommend if you have a high-end PC setup and a monitor with a high refresh rate to experience the smoothness of high pulling rates. But if not, 1000 Hz is more than enough and will not stop you from enjoying this mouse. Battery life performance on this one goes up to 100 hours, which is more than good enough. The mouse kits that come on these are average. I did notice that these wear out a lot quicker than some of the other mice that I've reviewed. They feel smooth enough with an average glide. Most people would probably look into changing out their skates with aftermarket ones for a smoother gliding experience. Overall, the performance from the POR3395 sensor is great, and I love the shape and the small form factor of this mini size. It's a great design with reliable tech, and I had a lot of fun using this for both casual and competitive gaming. So in conclusion, what are 3 things I like about this mouse? Firstly, the small form factor of this mini size and the flat sides make it one of the few mice that I enjoy using for both a fingertip and claw grip. Secondly, I like that they made a version of the iconic X2 shape for left-handed gamers. There are not a lot of mice that have side buttons for a left-handed player. I myself am not a left-handed user, but I wish for all gamers to experience and enjoy all products. And third, I think it looks even better than the original X2V2 with this color combination of white with black accents. I don't know, maybe I'm weird. So what are 3 things I feel can be improved with this mouse? It's mainly what I mentioned about the switches, and it's what I would best describe it as a pre-step before the actual click. I'm aware that there are X2V2s in general feeling sticky or crunchy, which I myself as a reviewer must say I'm a little concerned for anyone one of you who wants to get one. It's just that there is a risk of getting a unit that might have an issue, and honestly, I don't want that to happen. The X2V2 and X2A have been out for quite some time now, so PULSAR might have fixed those issues with more recent batches of their mice, so I would say if you plan to get one, your safest bet is to get it off their official website. The second thing is that it would be nice to have better skates that come on the mouse. Now it's a little bit too late, but hopefully with future product releases. On a side note, they do sell improved quality PTFE skates as an accessory on their website. It must be a new thing because I never noticed it before until just recently. And if you're a speed demon, you can take a look at their Superglide 2 glass skates. This last thing is more of a fun suggestion than anything else. The removable filler side buttons could probably be done in white to blend in with the body color. And I think that would look super clean for the sides that you don't use. Or even replacement buttons as an accessory in different colors, textures, and materials. It would be a very subtle way for people to personalize their mice. So final thoughts and what I think of its value, well, the X2A Mini costs exactly the same as the X2V2 because it's pretty much the same mouse. As a right-handed gamer, I do not feel like I'm losing out or gaining much choosing this version over the X2V2. For right-handed gamers, the only reason I can think of to get this version is that if you prefer the white and black color combination, or you would use for side buttons. But of course, if having the absolute lowest weight is your top priority, then you should probably get the X2V2 Mini. An ambidextrous mouse like this from a popular brand is not very common. Most brands would not bother making a version for left-handed players because it's a significantly smaller audience, but I would say that it's very respectable of PULSAR as a brand to make this happen. If you're a left-handed gamer, this is a good mouse to consider. Or if you're willing to wait a bit, they are working on an ergonomic mouse for left-handed gamers, and you can check it out on their Twitter. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful in any way, please leave a like and subscribe to support the channel, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.